can watch it later if you need to. But just a little bit, my name is Brian Gaylor, and I'm a distance learning librarian for the University of St. Augustine. And what we're really going to go over tonight is really like the basics of the University of St. Augustine library. So we're going to be, covering some of the resources that we have. We're going to do maybe one or two real quick sample searches. I like to usually say that the Let's Start with the Basics presentation is sort of a two-part presentation. The first part is introducing you to the library and the copious amount of resources that you have access to as a student. And then the second part, which is offered later in the month, is just strictly dedicated to searching. But this session is just going to kind of cover what you have access to as a student, whether you're an online student or a residential student, just some of the best resources that you have. So let me skip ahead to our agenda for tonight. Basically, just to identify the resources and tools that are available to you through the USA website or USA Library's website. Use SearchUSA to find relevant books, equipment, journal articles, journals, things like that. And we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll do a quick search of an online database just to show you how that works, and then connect to a full text document and talk a little bit about if you have to use our wonderful interlibrary loan system, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So let's check out the library website. Kind of this is sort of the beginning part of where we're going to be looking at the different type of resources that are offered, and the majority of it is noted through the library's website. Our library website, the current incarnation of it is really, I think it's about 2 years old now. We've done a lot with it. It looks fantastic, and we'll take a look at it in just a second. Our main search tool for the USA Library is called SearchUSA, and SearchUSA is a search engine which searches the USA Library's collection. So our journal articles, our physical journals, physical books, additional campus-based medical equipment like stethoscopes, bone models, treatment tables, and things like that. You'll also be able to search that using SearchUSA. It's just your main sort of one-stop search the entire library tool, and we're definitely going to be going over that, talking about that. And some of the items that are located on our campuses, of course, I mentioned a few minutes ago. Of course, our physical volumes that we have on each of our campuses. We have obviously multiple campuses: San Marcos, Austin, Dallas, St. Augustine, and as well as Miami, and they have physical collections of actual physical books, physical journals, and things like that, plus the aforementioned tools like bone models or treatment tables and things like that. But let's go take a look at the library website, kind of get to showing you some of the things that I'm sort of briefly covering. Let me pause this and switch gears really fast. So you're going to see the library website. If you haven't been there yet, the address for it is library.usa.edu. This is a very important place to check out. I'm also going to put it in the chat just in case you haven't been there yet, or if you just want to follow along, you can probably click on the hyperlink there and it'll take you to the library. But this is generally how it appears when it comes up. Up here is a quick escape to SearchUSA. It's right up here at the top, the search bar. You can also access SearchUSA if you go under Resources. Under this tab, it's a drop down. You can go to another search screen that is basically SearchUSA. It'll it'll search. But I usually encourage students, especially if they're just curious about what is available through the library, just to use this this blank that's up here and populate it with what you're looking for. The drop-down menu with the search bar too allows you to search the website, search the entire website. So if you're looking for something that maybe is not necessarily a journal article, but looking for policies or looking for some of our academic guides or citation manager information, you could potentially click on website, click in, let's say, citation managers like your Zotero or Mendeley, and then do a search of the website, and it would point you toward where that's mentioned through the entire website. So you're going to find, doing a quick search for these terms with the website, it's going to bring you to the different areas where Zotero or citation managers are mentioned. And then you can also, we'll do the Search USA search in a second, but you can also search the library catalog as well. People are often confused about the difference between the library catalog and Search USA. And really the simplest way to describe it is that Search USA searches all of the library's physical and digital resources, whereas the library catalog is really a listing of the library's physical resources. Now, that's pretty true, but not 100% true, because we catalog a lot of our ebook collection in the library catalog. But that's just because it's easier for you to search for it, really. But generally speaking, when you hear Search USA, think of everything, physical, digital, and then with the library catalog, you can go ahead and just sort of assume that what you're going to be seeing or what you're going to be searching for using the library catalog are going to be physical items. So I'll click on the library. You can search the library catalog up here as well in the drop-down, but the way I usually like to point people toward the library catalog is just to click on this little tab right here that takes you to it. And yeah, you're able to search through the physical items that we have that are located on each individual campuses, plus a lot of the ebook collection that we have too. Here's some really great short videos about how to renew items that you have, that you've checked out from the library. Also, how to request items as well. And then searching the library catalog. I'm just going to do a very bland, overview search, but if you want a little bit more instruction on how to do it, you can definitely watch this video, Searching the USA library catalog. But I'm just going to do one to kind of show you, just essentially what it looks like. Of course, you could try it on your own at your own pace. But I just did a quick search for physical therapy, just a keyword search, and of course it works just like any other, searchable system. It was able to produce journals, physical books, and where they're located as well, which is always helpful. You'll see that this has a campus location, St. Augustine. It's a circulating book section. You will notice as we kind of go through this and talk about the different collections that you'll see things like reserve books or circulating books. The difference between those two things, a reserve textbook or reserve book is typically a book that has to stay on a campus, like it's fixed on a campus. It's usually a book that's currently being used in a course. So that book is usually put on reserve for use. You can check out that book, but usually it's only in 2-hour periods and has to stay on campus. If you're an online student, you really don't have those privileges, unfortunately. But circulating books, on the other hand, what we call our general collection or circulating books, a lot of those can be circulated for some time. Reserve books, 2 hours, have to stay on campus. Circulating books, can be checked out to anyone affiliated with a university, even if you're an online student. And you can check that book out. It can be sent to you, or of course you go to the physical library and actually check it out. Circulating books you'll have for about 14 days total. So reserve textbooks, stay on campus, 2-hour checkouts, circulating books, which we'll probably look at a couple of others as we go along, kind of playing around with Search USA. Circulating books, 14 days, and those can circulate pretty much anywhere. So this is a real quick look at the library catalog. Really, the session tonight is really just going to focus on the library's website and some of the interesting resources that you have access to. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the library catalog. Remember, you can also search the library catalog using Search USA as well. So you don't necessarily just have to go to the catalog, but we'll cover these tabs really quickly, but I'm going to go through some of this stuff here in the middle and sort of show you some of the finer points. Here is a link to your My USA Student Portal, which you can go directly to by clicking that link. This one I definitely encourage you to investigate, take a look at, which is the Writing Center, that you can click on this link here. Now, the Writing Center is not affiliated with USA Library. It's actually separate from the library, and it's under I believe it's under Student Services. But the Library Center, or the Writing Center, the Writing Center is going to be very important to your academic journey. I would definitely, at some point, check out this link, check out this page, kind of go through it. Writing Center is very popular on campus. This is also where you will locate things about citation, which of course is going to come up as you have to present posters in classes or write papers, things like that. Your instructors are undoubtedly going to ask you to probably cite your sources, most likely, and this would be one of the great places to come to. That would be a great resource for you to check out. Here you'll see the APA style manual, or at least you have access to it through this website. You also have all of these reference format examples that are also here. I would definitely check it out when you get the opportunity to. Again, the Writing Center is separate from the library. However, when it comes to citation questions or things like that, the library can help you with that as well. But this is a really important thing that I like to show students, especially within the first few weeks, as we're kind of covering the library and showing you something new and the different aspects of the library and stuff that we're associated with. This is very paramount to your success as a student. So I would definitely check it out on your own when you get the opportunity to. This is also where you'll get some information about Grammarly, is one of the other very popular tools that are used. The differences between the APA 6th edition referencing versus the 7th, writing and grammar tips, things like that. Definitely give you the opportunity to come and check it out. But I'm going to focus a little bit more, of course, on the library. But let's go back to our library homepage. But I just definitely wanted to make you be aware of it. Plus, if you want to connect to Blackboard, you can also use our link to Blackboard as well. If you want to know a little bit more about the library website, here is a link to a library orientation website video that's really well done, that sort of breaks down all of the different resources, services that are accessible through the library. This section that I'm doing tonight is sort of like an abbreviated version really of that. And so we're going to keep moving here. We have a online chat which is available when the library is open. The library most of the week, I would say, it says right here, Monday through Thursday. Thursday for library is open on campus as well as online from 7 a.m. Eastern time to midnight Eastern time, which it's translated there 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific. And then Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, just because a lot of our online students, this is usually when they're completing their assignments, as well as our residential students when they're doing the stuff on the weekends that they need to turn in on a Sunday or Saturday night or Friday night, we're available, but our hours are usually extended on those days. As you can see, Wednesday and Saturday through Sunday, we're available 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern time. So that's full coverage from 4 a.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. The chat is currently offline right now because usually I monitor the chat here in the evenings on the weekends, and I'm talking to you right now, so that's why the chat is currently offline. But once I'm back ready to go, it'll be back up and working. If you ever encounter the chat being offline the way it looks right now, by all means, just email us at library@usa.edu. You can email us those, pretty much any of the questions that you have about the library, whether, as I mentioned before, it's a citation question, or let's say that you're trying to locate a book, article, ebook, or something like that, but you can't find it. You can always just email us directly at library@usa.edu. And you'll probably hear me say that a few times. Our upcoming events section is located right here at the bottom of toward the bottom of the website. And this is the area where we advertise a lot of the library sponsored events that we do. I'd say the majority of the events that we offer are usually webinar based or sort of that type of thing, just because anyone, regardless of whether they're affiliated with a campus, they can join those trainings. But occasionally there are sessions that are campus specific. They'll be noted, of course, but these are where all of our upcoming events are listed. So if you probably signed up for this session, you might have already seen this and came in and signed up for it, like this one right here. Gives you a real quick where you can up for a session and learn about it, and then if you decide you want to listen to it or go to it, you can by doing the click here to access the online classroom. We have a couple really exciting events that are coming up. As you can see, we have a session coming up which is about using the recently updated PubMed, which is started, I believe, in October, and it's almost it looks great. It's probably one of the most popular tools that our faculty and students use. It really is the best resource if you're looking up anything that's biomedical, allied health. It's some of the best research there, and we're actually running a few sessions, just sort of similar, just like this, training sessions, where we're going to cover some of the great updates to PubMed. So if you're interested, of course, you can always just, as before, click on the link to it and sign up for it, and join us when it's specified time that it starts. This is that other session I was talking about, the Searching USA Library. As I mentioned, the Let's Learn the Basics is really kind of a two-part webinar, because it's really showing you the website, talking about some of the basic policy stuff that comes along with the library, as well as just kind of giving you an overview. But the Searching the USA Library goes into a little bit more detail as far as being able to locate things like articles and journals and the like. We're going to get into a little bit of that, but if you liked this session tonight, and if you want kind of a deeper, more advanced part 2, then I would suggest coming to that session, which is going to be Wednesday, January 29th. So let me go through some of the tabs that we have up here at the top. We have the Resources tab, which connects you to Search USA. Again, you can search USA by just going up here to this search bar right up here at the top, pretty prominent, and add your search terms. We'll do an example search in just a second. You can also go to another SearchUSA search page as well, which is going to prompt us to log in, because pretty much that's usually how that works with resources through the USA Library. You'll notice I didn't have to authenticate anything as I logged in. That doesn't always happen, of course. It's really because I've been using our resources throughout the day-to-day. So using it so much, it already pretty much has me logged in to use. But normally when you're using the library and when you're trying to connect to a resource or anything like that, you'll be required to log in using your USA email address, which is usually like your first initial, period, last name, and then the @ symbol, usa.edu, and then it corresponds with your email password that you use to access your email. So whatever that password is what you would use, and that also not only gives you access to your institutional email, but also gives you access to the library's resources as a whole. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping it would let me show you what it looks like to log in, but maybe we'll get that again in a minute. But this is another SearchUSA search screen. Of course, you have the bar and you also have this additional one. Some people like using this one because if you're looking for something specific or something that's really targeted, that's not just a basic keyword search, going to this SearchUSA search page could be helpful, because you could go directly to the advanced search and begin your search there. But the majority of the time, when you encounter the website, and if you're just, especially at this point, I'm assuming that people that are in this room tonight are probably newer students to the university. So maybe with some of your assignments, you're maybe not having to do such detailed searching. So you could probably just do a quick keyword search and look at the results page and find something. But for more advanced search, especially if you're looking for something a little deeper, that you may have to add some more terminology to, you can access the advanced search a little bit easier through the SearchUSA page rather than the search bar. You can use the search bar too. I prefer to use that actually if I'm searching personally. This is our database page. You can see a lot of the databases that you have access to as a student. The ones up here are probably the most popular ones, or the ones that I guess we feature maybe the most as the university. That would be CINAHL Complete, Dynamed Plus, which is a excellent point of care tool. If you haven't used it before, definitely go check it out. I do also do a information session just like this one about how to use Dynamed Plus later in the term. So if you get the opportunity to, come check it out. ERIC, we have that, access to that. We also ProQuest, which is a great database to use, especially if you're looking up, multidisciplinary information. That's really what's best about ProQuest, is that ProQuest has such a wide range of content. So you can look up on ProQuest a article about nursing using ProQuest, and then using that same database, you could locate a article about that's higher level about economics or business practices or literature and art, all in one database, which is really great. Whereas PubMed is not that way, but since we are in a medical university, I would say PubMed is something that's used quite a bit here because of the fantastic content that it provides you as a researcher, and most of it being free, which is fantastic too. I also do sessions. Of course, I pointed out the session about the new PubMed, the new advancements to PubMed, but I also do separate trainings on how to, kind of get the most out of using PubMed. It's really a fantastic tool. It's definitely one of the ones that every time I teach a session on it, I learn something new about it, because there's just so much to learn. But we can talk about that again another time. Our databases are separated into categories, as I mentioned before. These are some of the ones that are sort of that are parked. So if you're looking for business information, you can actually look under Health Business Elite, or as I mentioned a few minutes ago, you can also use ProQuest as well, which would show up under the multi disciplinary category, as well as Gale, a power search. A power search. That's another tool that sort of has a good collection of content over multiple different types of subjects. Nursing info or education information was going to be ERIC, the Digital Commons Network Education. Then our journal collections. Now, these are our journal collections that are um, that that we subscribe to through a publisher. Um, uh, the publisher's database is that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. That we purchased a journal collection, which is a searchable database, and so these are a couple of the ones that we have. By all means, this is not limited to our journal collection. This is just a journal database that we subscribe to. I'll do a quick search for that later, but we'll get back to journals and journal collections. Of course, things with medicine, clinical trials, the Cochrane database of systematic reviews, Dynamed Plus, as I pointed out earlier, which is a great tool, PubMed, and it just goes on. For nursing, of course, you can't go wrong with CINAHL Complete, as well as the Joanne Briggs database, very valuable as well. And research rehabilitation stuff that we have, Allied Health Evidence, OT Search, OT Seeker, and so on. Sport rehabilitation measures database, and you can check it out on your own later. Our ebook collection, which of course again is searchable using SearchUSA, as well as the library catalog. But these are the different platforms that we get our ebooks from that are also searchable databases. So R2 Digital Library, the Lippincott, or the LWW Health Library, ProQuest eBook Central. All of these are searchable. You can click on them individually and search them if you want to, or you can just do the general wide search and search all of the resources. The Credo reference, the EBSCO ebook collection, you'll see that. A little bit of a pro tip that you might want to pay attention to is that SearchUSA searches our library collection, as I've mentioned a few times, physical resources and digital resources and so on, but it doesn't search information that usually comes from ProQuest. Occasionally you'll get something that is located in ProQuest, but it may not connect you directly to ProQuest like it should. So when it comes to like ebooks, the ProQuest ebooks, for instance, if you're searching SearchUSA, you might not bring those ebooks up. You may actually have to go to ProQuest and search them. So just kind of keep that in mind. SearchUSA searches just about everything except for ProQuest items. So you may, if you're looking for a particular ebook and not seeing it through SearchUSA, you may just want to click on the ProQuest eBook Central and do a quick search and see if there's something there that you're interested in, or of course go to the ProQuest database and do that too. These are highlighted of some of the most popular textbooks. Majority of these textbooks that you see here are going to be campus-based books, some of the ones that are popular in courses. A lot of these are your first-term courses, textbooks, but you have access to those as a student as well. Some of the recommended ebooks that come up during your time as a student. We have a couple of those little thumbnails here. If you click on these, this will actually take you to that item that you can take a look at, whether you can check it out as an ebook or see if it's available at one of our campuses. You can do that too. But let's go back. There's also videos on what I'm talking about with locating ebooks and searching for ebooks and things like that are located here using these videos if you're interested in taking a look. Our videos and interactive tools, another great section. This is our USA video library, which will connect you to some of the webinars that I do and some of the short videos the library does, as well as some of the university created content, video content. That would be anatomy labs, and things like that. Some of that has been captured on video. You'd be able to access that through our YouTube channel here. This is also where you can access visible body anatomy, which is a really awesome tool. You can actually learn a lot about it. If we go back out to the library homepage right now, and it's because visible body is a fairly new tool for the library that we've been advertising in a lot. And you'll see we have a slider that pretty much will kind of go through what visible body actually is and shows you how to troubleshoot it and to upload it to you or to download the visible body app to your personal device. All that information is here. Definitely check it out when you get the opportunity to. It's a really interesting tool. Gives you 3D imagery of different parts of the human body, bones, organs, etc. If you get an opportunity to, I definitely check it out if you have some time to take a look at it. It's a great tool. And these are some of our other anatomy-based training tools that we support and that we provide access to through the University of St. Augustine. You can access some of these. You can check out on your own. Our journal collection. Remember, I showed you where you can search a database from a publisher of some of the journals. You can do that, but that's only going to be a really limited amount. Whereas our actual journal collection, and of course there's also video information here in case you want to learn how to do a deeper search, you can watch this video. But our journal collection is pretty large, I would say. You have access to a lot of information. If this would come up, I'll give you a quick search just to sort of show you how it works. But the cool thing about our journal collection is that if it's searchable, you can also search by subject and discipline. Let me get a little operation thing going right here. 1 second. This is like the little login loop page. Let me close this out really quick and reopen it. I don't know what was going on with that, but hopefully. Okay. Let me close down a couple of these pages real fast. Well, I don't know why it's not letting me go there. That's kind of strange. Well, that's embarrassing. If we'll come back to that in just a few minutes, but if you want to know how to search the journal collection, you can click on this video, and then you can. I don't know why I'm having trouble connecting to this right now. I'm kind of worried then there might be another issue, but we'll come back to that in just a minute. Let's do some of the other resources that we have here as well. Our full text tools that we encourage students to use to locate full text, especially if they can't find it through the University of St. Augustine, as of course PubMed, Journal Finder, which we were just trying to use, as well as Google Scholar, which I'll briefly mention before we go. SOAR is the next thing I want to bring up. SOAR stands for Scholarship and Open Access Repository at the University of St. Augustine. So what it is it's our it's our library collection of institutional research, as well as scholarly output of our faculty, staff, and students here at the University of St. Augustine. It's a database that is searchable as well. You can look up student dissertations and see those in full text if you want. They're loaded up here. This is a fairly new one, actually, from a student that you can take a look at by just clicking the download button. This is also where, if you've done any sort of presentations, or if you've made any sort of publications as a student or as a faculty member, that you could submit that work to SOAR, and it could potentially be published through the library's repository, which is this. Searchable, as I said, you can take a look at it when you get the opportunity to, but definitely worth looking at. Some of our services, we have our Ask the Librarian service here, which of course you can ask the librarian via chat, or you can also email us at library@usa.edu. Of course, if you're a campus-based student, or even if you're an online student, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the locations of our different campuses: St. Augustine, Miami, Austin, Dallas, and San Marcos, which is in California. And you have our addresses, as well as phone or best contact phone numbers for those campuses that are all also located here. So you have that information in case you need to talk to anybody. Interlibrary loan. If you can't find can't find an article that you're looking for, or it's just not available through the library, you can contact us to locate that article for you using this form. You can also use it when we do a search in Search USA. You'll see that there's a form inside Search USA, that just so you don't have to come back to this particular form. It's called Request Through Interlibrary Loan. You'll see it when we do a search, or you can just send it directly to us at library@usa.edu, or phone or chat service also works if you're interested in that. Information about printing and copying and scanning. This is for, of course, the majority of our campus-based students use these services probably most. But even if you're an online student, you visit one of our campuses, information about printing, copying, scanning is right here for you to take a look at. Borrow, renew, and return. This is some of our information and basically policy information in shorthand, as well as some of the little things I mentioned about borrowing from the library, like reserved textbooks are 2 hours on campus only, and then we kind of break it down by the specific resource. So if you're a campus-based student, you check out a bone model, you have a 3-day window to bring it back. And yeah, you can take a look at this on your own and peruse this. There's also a video accompanying this to kind of help you navigate it as well. There's also our alumni information, alumni policy, and library services that we provide you as soon as you graduate or after you've moved on from the university. Some of that information's here. For online education, for people that take online classes exclusively, or anything like that, you can learn about our online library services by visiting this page. We have a little short video that we created about that, but covers things like just sort of general information, how to connect to the USA Library, talks about ebook collection, how to make appointments for research purposes, or for software or library-related software troubleshooting. You can kind of set that information up here. And also links to our webinars and trainings, which we'll get to that in just a second. Services, the last service to mention is our services that we provide our fantastic faculty and staff. So that ranges from everything from the library resources and personal library assistance that you get as a faculty and staff member, Also covers information about some of the more campus-based stuff like test proctoring or copying and printing, resource recommendations, and so on. So next thing I'll go over, and I'll try to go over this quickly as I looked at the time, are research guides. Now, when you see guides, people usually don't exactly know what that means, and then it's the drop-down menu indicates by course, how to, A to Z. To explain this, I'll go to the A to Z to kind of show you all the different guides that we have. But what these guides, actually research guides, really are is that what the library has done is a librarian has sat down and kind of compiled together resources for you, just to make it easier for you to, let's say, learn how to search our databases more effectively. And so we put this one together, for instance, for advanced database searching, which kind of just gives you an introduction and then talks about the different ways to do an advanced database search using phrasing searching, wildcards, truncation, and they're just sort of separated like that. So really what the librarian has done is they go through the internet or as well as the University of St. Augustine's library resources. And what we try to do is compile a subject-based page where you, as the researcher, can go to and pretty much start your academic journey there. So we have a lot of different types of guides that are informational guides. Like I said, ones that maybe may help you search a database more effectively. Also ones about how to use certain, valuable software the library provides support to, like citation managers. So we support 3 citation managers, the library does. That's Mendeley, Zotero, and as well as EndNote right here. And like I said, these pages we sort of set up where we put a lot of information in it, videos, textual information, just so you don't have to, just so as a user you don't have to search too much just to start researching, if that makes any sense. So there's lots of different guides that we have. Some of them are course-based, actually. So this is this is an online course, evidence-based practice for healthcare professionals. But this information kind of applies to everyone, regardless of if you're in the course or not. But these are some of the types of projects that we do with these guides. Is, like I said, we just try to make it easy for the user to sit down and start, learning about a topic, or let's say learning a new skill or learning new software. We just try to pull it all together just for you, just so you don't have to go searching for it on your own. So yeah, when you get the opportunity to, definitely stop in and check out some of the information guides that we have here. We have a couple pages worth of them, so definitely take a look. We have over lots of things, finding qualitative, quantitative literature, predatory publishing, scholarly speech and language pathology, the list goes on. It's pretty substantial. Also, this is our webinars tab, which will cover the upcoming webinars. Some of them I've pointed out, as well as the ones that we have archived. So we record, just like this one is being recorded, we record all of our training webinars, and we host them here in this archived webinar section. So like the one that you're listening to right now, this one was done, of course, at the beginning of last term, or a similar version of it at the beginning of last term. So you would have access to that if you wanted to watch it. Previous webinars done about advanced searching, PubMed, ProQuest, the different citation managers that we support. We've done a couple of sessions where we've done demonstrations on how to download the programs, and then of course how to use them thereafter. Copyright information, Dynamed, so on. A lot of those past videos you'll be able to access here. If you have an item that you want to renew online, you can click on this and it'll take you to the library catalog where you can do that. And then this is our About Us section. So staff directory, where we are, who we are, located around the country, really. And then our policies, our history, or if you want to provide us with feedback or anything like that, you can do that here. Now, before we run out of time, because we only got about 10 minutes left, I'm going to do a couple quick searches using SearchUSA, kind of show you how it works. So let's do a search for, let's say, rotator cuff injuries, rehabilitation. Let's try that. Just do a very basic search just to kind of show you what you get when you're using SearchUSA. So I just put in some quick keywords. I'm hoping it connects us, and it did, looks like. This is SearchUSA. This is what I was telling you about, where you can search pretty much everything that you have access to through the library, except, of course, ProQuest is the only thing that SearchUSA doesn't search very well. So if you want to use ProQuest, you can go right to it over here. It's under additional resources and pop it open, this link out, where you could search that as well. Actually, the cool thing we have set up with SearchUSA is that if you do a search in SearchUSA and you click on the link out to ProQuest or PubMed, it will automatically do that search in these databases separately. So that's something to know and to maybe put in your back pocket for later. But at any rate, I just did that quick search, and this is some of the things I got. This is an article it appears that we actually do not have access to, because you'll see it says request this item through interlibrary loan. If this is an article you really wanted, that you wanted to get connected to, you could do that by going to request this item through interlibrary loan. The citation information is supplied there for you automatically, but all you'd really have to do is just supply us with your name, your first name, last name, email address, and any other comments that pertain to the order. But otherwise, that's pretty much it, especially if you can't find something you're looking for. You'd see this as well, just like because SearchUSA searches everything. This is a book that SearchUSA located that thinks that that we may find this very interesting according to our search terms, which are keyword terms: rotator cuff injury and rehabilitation. It's connected us to a textbook that you have access to as a ebook. As you can see, it says online access here, and it also says online ebook here. Or you can check out the physical edition that is located at, it looks like, all of our campuses except for the Dallas campus. So you'll see this when you're looking through SearchUSA as well. You can filter your searches in SearchUSA, or you can limit them in a number of different ways here on this panel here. So you have a limiter where if you only want to look at stuff that's available in the library collection, that would be stuff you have immediate access to without, it would filter out stuff like this, your request through interlibrary loan. It would just give us what we have access to immediately. You can limit that by executing that limiter, and it'll just give you the stuff that you have access to immediately as a student or affiliate with the university. If you're looking for catalog information, so of course catalog again is sort of synonymous with physical items, you can do that. It would search our physical collections for stuff that pertains to your keyword. So that's going to be like the book we just looked at a minute ago, and then other books that are located at our other campuses, or ebooks as well. For just anything, articles, you don't really have to put a limiter on. It's going to search everything. If you want a peer-reviewed journal or peer-reviewed articles, you can utilize that limiter if you want to. But when you're doing a general keyword search anyway, and you're not really looking for anything too direct, it's good to do just a keyword search and not put a lot of limiters on it, because you want to really see what's out there first before you start to pick and choose. You also have this limiter where you can change up the date range as well. Source types. Now this will help you when you're looking for articles or different types of resources, digital resources or physical resources. if you want to limit it to academic articles exclusively, you can do that by just using the filter for academic journals, and it'll filter out everything that is that's been produced by an academic journal. So you'll see all of that showing up there after we did that search. And then it gives you a lot of different options. You can filter source types by academic journals. You can ignore academic journals and just do like news pieces, like quick, news articles from some of the journals and other publications that we subscribe to, like magazines, books, ebooks, trade publications, reports, dissertations, and theses, print resources, electronic resources, and reviews. These are the different source types that you can search through the library. I'll point out dissertations and theses, though, because you'll see it has 7 that comes up right here. That's the number that's the number that our search has produced that you have access to, is this theses and dissertations. But if you want to get the most out of that, that's where you go to ProQuest, because ProQuest, it's a database that searches. It's a search engine that searches a lot of ProQuest different databases that they have access to, and one of the most important ones, really, that you use as a student and as a faculty member, if you're a faculty member, is the dissertation and theses database, which you can only access using ProQuest. So you may see that your search produced 7 results of dissertations and theses, but in reality, if you were to do that search using ProQuest and select the dissertation and theses through ProQuest, you may get a lot more. So yeah, I'll be doing additional sessions in the future about ProQuest, so if you're interested in learning more about it, you can absolutely show up. I'm not going to go too deep in detail with these. I just want to kind of make you aware that they're there. Some of these will be more pertinent for that Searching USA library session that I do. This is a subject filter. Subject filters they help your search better. So what they'll do is they'll look at the search engine looks at your keywords and determines, based on how the results are indexed, exactly what you're looking for, and it'll determine the subject you're looking for, and it'll say, well, so you're looking at rotator cuff injury rehabilitation, then without a doubt this type of subjects you're looking for are going to be rotator cuff, shoulder joint, physical therapy, and so on. And what these do really is they just give you a much better targeted search. What they'll do is if you selected physical therapy, for instance, what it'll do is it'll look at my keywords, do a keyword search, a second keyword search, but then it'll incorporate the subject term for physical therapy. Now, all of the results that you see in front of you, or virtually any search engine that searches a database indexes information, and in order for the search engine to locate that information easily, indexers assign subject terms to make it easier to locate. So when you use the subject filter, what it is basically doing is it's translating your keywords that you use into subject terms, which in turn make it easier for you to locate information. Again, I know it may sound kind of crazy, but I'll talk more about it in a future webinar where we kind of go in a little deeper detail about searching. But I just want to let you know that that's there and it's available. Publisher information's here as well. Publication, like if you want to search a specific publication, you can do that. Languages, geography, collection, and content provider. Provider is important because content provider shows you where the information is being pulled. So again, Search USA is a search engine, and it searches databases. And these are the databases that it pulled the information that's in front of you. This is where it pulled it from, or these content providers. So you'll see CINAHL, Sport Discus, Medline, which is essentially PubMed, you'll see that all located here. I'm going to try to connect to one of the full text resources here just to show you what it looks like. I'm kind of getting worried that there may be something up to why it wasn't immediately connecting me, but it looks like it's okay now. I don't know what the deal is with the journal finder, why it wouldn't connect me, but try it on your own. I'm sure it'll work, but I don't know, that was strange. But this is basically, if you locate an article, this is what it would look like when you do. It's usually a lot faster than this, but I've always noticed when you do a presentation and you're using the internet, it usually slows down dramatically when you're trying to show somebody something. So bear with me. I know it's right at 9 o'clock, which would be 10 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. I'm almost done. I just wanted to show you this upload and then kind of come back and see if you guys have any questions, if this thing would load at some point. But we started a few minutes late, so we still have a little bit of time. So while we're waiting for that to load, I'm going to go back and try to get into our journal finder to see if I can just show you what that looks like while we're waiting. And yeah, so journal finder, I don't know why that took so long. While we're still waiting for this to upload. Journal finder is, again, it's the USA Library's journal collection. It's you can browse, it's our browsable journal collection. So it's like if you went to a newsstand. I know that's that probably dates me age-wise, but if you were to go to a newsstand physically and go through magazines or journals that are located there, this is kind of like that, but it's online. So if you're interested in journals dealing with a particular topic of interest, so nursing and allied health, for instance, I click on that, and it'll give me the collection which is associated with nursing and allied health, which is going to be quite a few because of the nature of our school. But like Search USA, it also allows you to filter results. So if you're looking for a specific type of nursing journal, this could help you by doing that, by choosing. If you're looking for psychiatry, for instance, do an update, and it would just point you toward journals that are nursing and psychology or something like that. Plus, it gives you information about publisher. Plus, you can search for different journals up here. So if you're looking for AJOT, American Journal of Occupational Therapy, you can either type that in there and it will show up. It'll also show you coverage. You'll see this when you do a search with the journal finder, is that it'll show you our subscription coverage. So you'll notice sometimes it'll say 1980 to present or 1950 to present, and then some of these others may have 1980 to 2013 or 2004 to present, and so on. That's definitely something to pay attention to if there is an article you're looking for, or if you're browsing a journal from a certain period, or why you're not able maybe to access a journal. Sometimes it's because of the subscription coverage, and that's pretty much outlined here in the full text access. Now, before I stop, this is what an article looks like when you download it from the university. Another thing I'll show you really quick is what the item record looks like in Search USA. This can be very important to you. It shows you the abstract and kind of get the gist of what the article is about, plus any information, subject terms, keywords that are associated with the article. You'd find that here. Also, and this can be very helpful, very crucial, especially when it comes to citation, is permalinks. Permalink, if you're using Search USA, what it does is that it creates a URL that is specific to Search USA, and if you use this link right here and add it to your citation, it will take you right back to this page where you can access the article this way. It's just something that people have asked me about in the past. Sometimes I'll throw that into some of the sessions I do. Other than that, and that's a very general opening of the USA Library and its resources, that's pretty much all I have for tonight. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to go back to my slideshow really quickly, just to talk about, last but not least, article requests and interlibrary loan. I did mention a little bit about interlibrary loan, but the one thing I really wanted to impart that I just realized I forgot to tell you is that when you do make a interlibrary loan request for an article or an item we don't have, it usually takes anywhere between 2 to 5 business days to receive that. The USA Library has partnerships with multiple institutions, hospitals, universities, that allows us that our collection, although may not have what you're looking for, we have the ability to locate lots of information because of our partnerships with other universities, hospitals, and various institutions. So just because we don't have it when you first search it doesn't mean we can't get it. So definitely wanted to mention that before we left, but any more information about interlibrary loan, you can go right back to that services tab on the site, click on interlibrary loan, it'll go through that information. But aside from that, which I apologize I had to backpedal for, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them now. Really want to thank you for coming out tonight and being patient, staying a little bit over in time for this. Once again, my name is Ryan Gaylor. I'm one of the distance learning librarians for the University of St. Augustine. My contact information is there on the screen. It's rgaylor@usa.edu. It's my personal contact if you need to get a hold of me for questions, or if you have just general inquiries about the library, just general questions that come to you, you can email us at library@usa.edu. Other than that, if you have a question, you can ask me now. You can put it into our virtual chat over here on the side, or you can just shoot me an email or shoot us an email, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Again, thank you very much. I'm going to turn off the recording in just a second. But before we go, I just want to give you one real quick poll that we usually like to ask, which is basically, was this helpful tonight? Is basically the poll that we give, and any of your information or feedback is always welcomed. But we always like to ask this question at the end, just to make sure that we've kind of covered some stuff and that you've learned something from this interaction. Anyway, thank you very much for your input. I appreciate it. Any questions?